First of all, before I start, the chairman asked me how these names are circulated. People send us all of the different nominations. They write out reasons why, and that's what we do. So we look at the nominations, and I spend probably more time than she wants, but I spend the time with Courtney to go over these things, and we figure out what to do. So the last one is the Outstanding Achievement Award. So the Outstanding Achievement Award, all I have to say is this first line, and then everyone will know what I'm talking about. Together, we can do more. This is his CFO. That is his tagline at the bottom of his email address. Together we can do more. But that's what he really has had. Together we can do more. And that's how really kind of how he's done it. And you know, you hate to do, you know, one of the things I never really liked about my parents was they would always compare my older brother and sister to each other. But if you compare our previous CFO, who did a terrific job, with our current CFO, there are a lot of different things that we were able to get that are different now. I think transparency is a lot better now. I also think that no one's afraid to really pick up the phone and ask him a question, and he's usually there to answer the question when the email system works. And, he's had a really good. He's developed a tremendously positive relationship with staff. You know, Lincoln said, "Only a fool trusts everyone or no one." Now, I'm the kind of guy that, you know, I don't give you trust. You kind of have to earn trust with me. And when we hired David, I went to his staff and I said, "Well, how's he doing?" I went to the auditors and I said, "How's he doing?" And I asked a lot of people how he was doing, and they pretty much told me he knew what he was doing. So I knew that he had the technical skills, but the whole other skills are more important. So his relationships with staff were really important. But the other thing is wearing this other hat. Poor Megan Fielder, when she came in, she's a special events person. She's trying to coordinate this horrific thing. Honestly, if Megan came in with our previous CFO, she would have had to spend a little bit extra money to hire a psychiatrist. But what he did was he took all the vendor lists and he delegated them to all of his staff, and he said, "You call from A to F, you call from G to whatever, and call them all and ask them if they're going to participate in our 25th year anniversary, and if they're not, let me know because I want to talk to them." And a typical example, since they're not here, I can bring it up. We had this English woman from WB Mason come, and she was so happy. But they called me and said they were going to give me $2,500, and I was very happy. Somebody called them, and I said thank you. And then Megan called them and said that this is not acceptable. And then all of a sudden, David's talking to him, and he's saying, "Excuse me, I have a question. You are here to help us at WB Mason?" And they said yes. And he said, do you have the phone number for Staples? Because we need to talk to them. So somehow then they were at the top of the list, and they gave us $25,000. So this kind of like helped a little bit as well. Also, again, with fleet management, we saw the 300, and when I say to Tim, we see $325,000 in savings. That goes towards all of the other stuff that we do to develop new programs, we put towards down payments, and we save it on not having to go to different kinds of efficiency for management. So what I think is what David does, his outstanding achievement is that he's been able to deal with all of us and also rise above it, and also been able to start looking more at systems change from more of a global perspective, and instead of worrying about whether or not somebody ordered pizza at their group home, he's worrying more about whether or not there was fraudulent activity with a bunch of gas cards and how we can circumvent and ameliorate that kind of thing, and also to mitigate that from happening again. So let me without further ado, say David Sweeney.